Join me right now on Kumite Radio is Lisa Insane Blaine. She'll be fighting at Bellator 207 on October 12th versus Alexandra Ballou. What's going on, Lisa?
Hello, I'm doing great. How are you today?
Good, good. Let's start off with your MMA career. You kind of started late. You started in your 30s, which is not normal these days because there's so many young people in this game.
Yes.
What caused you to begin training and eventually competing?
Um, uh, I was a huge fan of the sport, and I still am. And again, I wanted to try it for myself, even though I was in my mid 30s. I was 34 when I first started training, and my main goal, honestly, because of my age, was to just have one amateur fight and just call it quits, and that's it. Just so I could be 90 years old one day and say, "Hey, I did that." But I never thought I'd be doing it still 5 years later, let alone being on a Bellator cage. So very successful than what I thought it would be.
At what point did you decide like you're gonna continue this? Because you just said to me that you want to just have one fight and quit. But what made you decide to push forward in this career?
Well, after finally having that first amateur fight, even though I lost in a very devastating fashion, it was like a high being inside that cage. And it felt, even though, again, I lost, I basically got my butt whooped in that fight, but I was like, wow, I have to do this again. It was fun, the training camp. And, honestly, it kept me out of trouble also, kept me in great shape. And it's a high being inside there. So, yeah, I had to do it again.
Being that age and going into a training camp, because you've probably never been in a training camp before. So what were some of the challenges?
Your age definitely plays a factor. I mean, of course, I'm healthier than honestly some 18-year-olds out there, but age, honestly, it does catch up with you. And I think one of the main factors is being a woman of my age. It is kind of harder to lose weight. I think that's probably the biggest challenge. Other than that, I feel physically great, mentally great. I feel fine. So probably just the weight loss.
You have shown that you have one punch knockout power, which is very rare for someone in your weight class.
Yes.
Where does that come from?
I have no idea, to be honest with you. I remember the first win I ever got was a unanimous decision win. The next one I got was a submission win. And I told myself, I'm going to get a knockout win. And it happened in 7 seconds, nonetheless. And then it happened again. So I had 2 knockouts. I don't know where it came from, just hitting the bags, practicing, learning technique. I don't know where it came. I never knew I had that power in my hands, to be honest with you.
What aspect of mixed martial arts came the easiest to you?
When I first started training, BJJ was the first class that I started. For some reason, striking just came more natural to me. Again, I had no background in grappling, striking, fighting whatsoever, but striking definitely came more natural to me for some reason.
You are making your return to Bellator on October 12th against
Yes.
Alexandra Ballou. How much has your game changed since your last appearance for the promotion?
You know what? To be honest with you, we're going to find out next weekend. I'm working some different things because even though striking is my stronger suit, my last fight was a stand-up battle, which I clearly lost. So there's definitely some changes I need to make to not just ground, but also striking. But we'll find out October 12th what changes have been made.
What have you focused on in your training camp this time around?
I don't want to give up too much because my opponent might be watching this, but let's just say again, I'm improving ground and trying to improve my striking. So I'm trying to be more elusive.
Your opponent, Alexandria, what are your thoughts on her skill set?
My last fight, I actually went blind into that fight, not looking at my opponent at all. I just wanted to try something different. But this fight, I did look up her videos. I know she's a purple belt. I know she likes to go for the guillotine choke. But again, you can always go in there with the game plan. But once that cage closes, sometimes the game plan doesn't work. But I do know I have been training for everything, and I'll be ready and prepared for anything inside that cage.
How do you think Alexandria stacks up against your previous opponents?
Um, it's kind of hard to answer that question. I know she's been in that cage only 3 times. I think how she stacks up, I think she's probably going to be more of a grappler than some of my other opponents. I'm not sure how she stacks up against the other opponents. I won't know until I actually step in that cage with her. Kind of hard to answer that question. I'm sorry.
Your opponent is making her professional debut against you at Bellator 207. Why is this a bad idea for her?
I would say, I don't know if it's a bad idea for her. I do know I have more cage experience, so that actually does play a part. The last time I stepped in the cage with someone who didn't exactly have a steady record, they had more cage experience. And I ended up losing that fight. So I think the advantage that I have here is more cage experience.
You're going into this fight on a 2-fight skid. Are you mentally the strongest you have ever been due to the adversity you have faced as a pro?
I can honestly say yes. One of the fights I went in there with emotion, and that didn't turn out very well. Another fight I went in there blind. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but I'm definitely mentally focused for this fight. I haven't missed a day of training. I can't help the nerves building up to the fight, but that's just all part of it. I can't control that, but mentally, yes, I'm definitely stable there.
You mentioned earlier about your first fight, you got a kind of a high, you know, from being in the cage. How do you keep yourself from getting too high?
I don't know. I can't help that. When you're inside that cage, it's just such a rush inside there. My opponent hits me, I want to hit them back. If they take me to the ground, I want to get back up. Honestly, I think the high just keeps getting higher and higher, to be honest with you. I can't stop that. And honestly, I love it.
How was the high when you got that? I think it was a 7-second knockout. You seem pretty hyped after that one.
Yeah, I was. Sometimes, like, when you win a fight, you're caught in the moment. You're caught in your emotions. You're not trying to act like an animal inside that cage, but you're caught in that moment. And again, like I said, I wanted a knockout win, and I got it in 7 seconds. I was just going crazy, and I just got to enjoy the fights for the rest of the night with my friends. So that was a high I don't think I can ever describe in words. That's just something that will be a feeling I'll remember forever.
What kind of performance are you expecting out of yourself at Bellator 207?
I want a new Insane to come out. I want the fighter that people have never seen inside me before. Again, with the striking, I want them to expect the unexpected. I want to look like a brand new fighter out there. I'm still working on it. I know it can't happen in 3 months because my last fight was like 3-4 months ago, but I want to surprise people. I want them to see me do things I've never done before.
You are a proud Malaysian. Can you talk about your Korean roots a little bit?
Absolutely. Again, as I mentioned, my mom, she was born and raised in South Korea. Don't ask me the country because I can't pronounce it. I don't know. But my dad was in the military. That's how they met. I was born in Louisiana. My sister was born in Colorado. So, of course, we were Army brats. I did end up visiting Korea one time when I was 18 years old. I spent my 19th birthday out there. I never got a chance to go back since, but I'm glad I got to meet that side of my family at least at one time. I met my mom's mom, my grandmother. She unfortunately passed away now, but I'm glad I got to meet her at least once. And if I ever had the chance to go back to Korea again, I would love to. Absolutely.
Do you enjoy the food?
Oh my gosh, that's my favorite. If I could cook anything the best, it'll be Korean food. Because I know when I moved out of state, I told my mom, teach me to cook all this stuff because I know I'm not going to see you for a while. So she taught me all these things. I can pretty much make almost any Korean food, to be honest with you. That's my favorite. My girlfriend doesn't like it too much, but that's okay. You have to have a acquired taste for certain things. But yeah, I love Korean food for sure.
Yeah, but it seems like Korean food has become much more popular around the world as of late, right?
Absolutely. We have nice restaurants out here in Connecticut. So yeah, it's becoming more popular. Like you can go to Walmart and find kimchi now. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy that you could go to the supermarket and buy kimchi out there. What do you ever plan on coming out here and fighting? If there's an opportunity that arises, do you want to come out to Asia and compete?
Absolutely. Like I said, if I ever have the opportunity to go back to Korea, I would love to. I just don't have the money right now. But if the fight was offered out there, oh my gosh, I'll take my mom with me. Let's go. Absolutely. 100%.
Thank you for your time, Lisa. And hopefully maybe you'll come out to Asia one time to fight.
If I do, I'll come find you for sure to say hi.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Bye, everybody.